위비예요. 반갑습니다. So this week, in preparation for the final part of Squid Game, I'm gonna do the spooky red light, green light doll. For that, for the first time ever on my channel, I'll be using this rainbow high doll. I don't really know anything about them, but I really want to do the spooky eyes with resin. So let's go to the video.
So this week is for sure gonna be different than usual. I'll be trying some new stuff and exploring technique, but one thing doesn't change, this hair needs to go. While I'm making my way through the hair, I thought it would be a good time to show you my design. I love the concept for the Squid Game doll, but like everything, I wanted to put my own twist in it. So I'll be changing a couple of stuff that one, makes me think of Korean fashion, but also makes this doll more humanoid. Anyway, now that I'm done, the first thing I want to try to do is the resin eye. So I need to take these off. The best technique I saw is to cut a big hole in the back, so that's what I'll be doing. At the same time, I can remove the hair from there, so I'll get that out of the way. So the only way to get these out and to stabilize the new ones are to get rid of this layer of plastic. This was not easy to do because the plastic was really soft, and one wrong move and it could have a big opening in like her face or something. Once that was done, I can now bring her to the sauna and remove her makeup, and while the Cacomb are doing their magic, I can start on the eye. I printed a design I've done on my tablet in different sizes, because even after all this preparation, I still don't know what will look good. I also bought about 10-ish mold, and these two look like the right size, so I'll do some tests also with these. Tessa did come to see me, but I did find a way to keep her out of the toxic fumes, so don't worry about her, she's super fine. I'm not gonna bore you guys like I bored myself with all these tests, but at least know that I've tried to paint an eye, and it was probably the last time I did that because it looks really ugly. But these are all the tests I've made, and I now feel confident on trying the real stuff. One thing I still do not understand though is I've popped every single bubble imaginable, and I don't know how, but I still ended up with some. My resin is really old though, like 2-3 years old, so that could be the reason. The other reason could also be that the white layer didn't really like dry all the way, so maybe it did something, but for my first time I'm still really happy with them, so I'll glue them in with hot glue, and I'll glue back the back of the head because I'm really happy and I'm not gonna touch that again. Now let's continue with the hair, and of course it's gonna be black. I prepared some weft because a full reroute would not be possible. I'm sure that will break the repair I just did, but I would also not want to reroute this big head, like please no thank you. But after gluing as much as I can with the skill in hairstyling that I've got, I'm still going to plug the front of the hair so it just look a little bit better. I also did put a lot of hair in one hole just so that the tension of the hair would be enough to stay in, because I cannot put some glue in because everything is closed, you know, so that's just gonna guarantee that a little bit more hair will stay in. I did finish the hair and styling off camera, but we can now start on her face. First thing I want to do is to powder her. A little bit of pink blush on the cheek, a little bit of white on the eye, and a little bit on the lips. That's also the first change I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put her in brown lipstick. When I was first introduced to Korean makeup back in 2015, it was by this artist named Pony. If you love makeup, I do suggest that you go see her content if you didn't already. But I based myself off her subtle makeup, which for the lips she looks like she's going with more purpley brown. And since this doll is supposed to be a kid, I thought this color would fit her a little bit better than red. Peach would also have been a good idea, but I still wanted something to pop. Second change here, I also did some subtle painting on her eyes, just a small eyeliner line so my fake lashes don't show. And some white for the waterline, which I also think is something more Koreans do, but I also could be wrong. But of course, we cannot forget the eyebrows. and some eyelashes to make her look more lively. Now we're gonna skip right to her outfit. So I thought I bought this Korean pattern online, but unfortunately for me, I think the instructions were in Chinese or something, because I could just not read a single letter. But we're not here for my language skill, but for the skills I use when I have this much pattern and only that much fabric. Fortunately for me, it did come in a bundle, so I just chose another fabric and tried to fit the patterns in. And once I was satisfied, I can just put the same pattern on the right fabric. This is a whole new outfit. It looks nothing like the original, and I hear you loud and clear. I based myself off this kid's picture for the outfit, which for me is super Korean with the flowy aesthetic like a hanbok. And I also know the color doesn't look like the original design, but fear not. My plan was always to dye it. It's just not easy to find fabric with small pattern and way harder to find it in orange. I am also super cheap, so I wanted to find a way to do it on my own. So let's start the little scientific experiments here and cut some water bottles so I don't stain any of my containers and put some water in it. I got 2 crayons to try and I have 2 samples for them. I had one Sharpie that looked like the perfect color and one old washable Crayola that's just at its wit's end. But after 5 minutes in the hot water, I was really surprised to see that the washable Crayola did more than the Sharpie. If any of you guys know why, please let me know down in the comments. I'm really intrigued. Anyway, at the end of the test, both colors were not it. So I went online to see if I could do any more tests before needing to go buy some real dye. And I saw that acrylic paint does dye. And that I have a lot. And it looks perfect. While the dye was doing its thing, I also did some ties off camera. And I just need to add some accessories. I found these pom-pom in my stash from the first LPS house restoration that I did on this channel. I actually really hate purple, so I tried to not put it as much in my stuff, but for once I was happy to find them and to have kept them just in case. They look so cute right now. On the dress, I wanted to add this small lace all around so it could give a cooler look. And while I'm at it, I also found this purple bow in my stash and I thought it looked really cute. And these transparent buttons to add to the design. And with that, I'm done and we can go to the final shot. sorry I didn't do the cute black Asian shoe that every student has, but I just cannot do shoes. But stay tuned because I'm gonna do an attempt in my next video. So if you want to see me probably fail pretty bad, subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for when she drops.